Hey guys, Steve here, Ponics. Today we're going to talk about
growing with fishes. Growing with fishes.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Growing with Fishes podcast, episode 321. You have a really great guest for you guys today, especially from the if you're into the Thailand scene. One of the bigger movers and shakers with us. We have Brett from Mary's Motivation. Thanks for joining us today.
Going on, guys? Thanks for having me, man.
We also have a bunch of really good people coming up. Chris Trump will be on the show next week talking to us with an update on what he's got going on in Costa Rica. We have some other cool people planned for you guys in the next couple of weeks here between now and the end of the year. So hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving. Be sure to check out, we do have our, I was a dumbass and forgot to pull it up, but thankfully I think I still have it up. Here we go. Sorry guys, it's been a weird technical morning. I've had a bit of a weird start to the day and we've had all kinds of technical problems this morning. So we have our fall sale. Be sure to check out APMJ class, the pest class, and nutrient class.com. All of those different classes. You can use coupon code FALL for a big discount. We always do our biggest discount of the year for 420 and for Black Friday, and well, we call it our Krampus sale. So I should have checked that out. It's now through Krampus, which is this, December 5th. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. So have a good one. And yeah, check it out. If you're looking to get education, you want to get a cool gift for somebody for Christmas. It's a great time. We have a full-length pest control class for living soil and aquaponics. We have the new mineral and microbes class on aquaponics that's geared towards all crops, not just cannabis, coming out in January. And then we have the aquaponic cannabis master class as well, which we have a bunch of new updates for the next couple of weeks as I finish editing up the video. So be sure to check those out if you haven't already. Alrighty, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us today. We have Mary's Motivation with us today, and he's going to be talking to us all about it was funny, we were talking before the show. We have very similar journeys into how we got into the white side of the market, and they were I did end up doing it about 2 years before him, but he did very similar paths. It was really almost comical how similar they were. So you can find him on Instagram, Mary's Motivation. He also has a bunch of shops here. You can get flower in Bangkok and Phuket, and I believe some other places as well. I'm sure he's going to tell us all about it here in a moment. And yeah, check it out. He's got a wonderful range of different flowers and products there available here in Thailand. So thanks a lot for joining us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing? I know you're quite the expert here when it comes to the Thailand cannabis scene, and I was recommended to you by Rasta Jeff. Big thanks to Rasta Jeff. He's been on the show. Actually, I was just talking to him about coming back on. He was on episode 98 of the show, so you can go back and check that out if you haven't already. And be sure to follow his podcast, Grow From Your Heart.
Definitely. Yeah. Shout out to Jeff. Love the guy. Good people. Just I feel everybody meets the right people in this industry. But yeah, so I've it's kind of hard. I'm thinking about my journey's been quite long, but got in the cannabis industry, 2013 when I moved to Colorado for legalization out there. And then just, really dove in heavy, was just the grower for first couple of years. And then dove in heavy. I like how you say it, the white scene. There's so many different terminologies out there from traditional markets to, I've heard people call it the OG market to, but yeah, so I got into the legal side of things more so in 2015. Well, 13 to 15, I was like a caregiver for growing and whatnot, but then got my badge and legally started working in 2015. Done some big things, helped build one of the biggest companies actually in the world for cannabis. In 2015 to 17, it was a distillate company, so a lot of cannabis extraction. And at the time, no one was really doing the things that we were doing. And then kind of went off on my own after that. I've had a marketing and branding company geared towards cannabis space since 2017. And then, you know, dabbled in growing and extraction the whole time since as well, consulting and doing things with other companies, but really fell in love with the culture over here. 2018, when I came on a backpacking trip, kind of just did a little backpacking trip, went from Thailand to Laos to Vietnam, then to Cambodia, where I taught some English, went to Nepal, kind of studied yoga and certain aspects of meditation, which are a big part of my life, and Indonesia, stuff like that. Then came back over here, started working more with the implementation of installing and training on CO2 and distillation equipment. We used to pull equipment out of Germany and then install kind of all over the world, Canada, Puerto Rico, Mexico, America, you know, and you know, I was also have a part owner of a solventless company out of Colorado, and I was just kind of getting burnt out, to be honest. Just wanted, you know, a new adventure, and I was really wanting to come back here to Thailand. Was really wanting to come back and actually just I was going to teach meditation and breath work, and I teach this cannabis meditation, cannabis breath work class that I've kind of designed through different practices that I've studied. And which, hey, if you're in Thailand, I'll be doing a partial one up at the Thai High Convention, but which I'm really happy. I just got told that I'll be doing a little meditation and breathwork class, which to me that's amazing. But that kind of changed everything. And yeah, I came over here, fell in love, went back, and then was coming back out here. And right when I was coming back out here, man, it was like it was kind of weird. It was kind of like the universe saying it was the right move, because I was really hesitant. Should I you know, go to Thailand where I really don't know anybody still, like and all that, but I was just going to teach meditation. And then as I was getting things ready back in the States, and you know, getting my I have a dog, so getting my dog situated, have my friends watch my dog, shout out to them. I love you guys so much. I wouldn't be able to do this without them for right now until I can get her over here. But basically just got things, we're getting things situated, like seeing if it was possible. And then all the laws changed. And then within 2 weeks of legalization here, I basically had a one-way ticket over. And it was just to more or less, I was like, all right, well, I was going to go out there to teach meditation anyways. I'm going to go check out the market, teach meditation, and just stay at hostels and whatnot, and just see how the industry evolves. Well, I get here, and within 1 hour, man, I see where the industry is going to go, where kind of how it started. It reminds me of other countries I've worked in. And it's most countries, not all countries that legalize do it the way that it was done here. Actually, a lot don't. This is more reminds me of California or Colorado back in the day, where you could just walk around with weed in your backpack and sell it without paperwork or licenses or anything. So with the aspect of the opportunity and where I see this industry has a possibility to go with the tourism already here, and it being, you know, run the way it's being run. You know, I met some people, decided to have a partnership, and now we have my partner's actually out there right now working. I don't know if you can't see him through the window, but so I met two good guys that were selling in a truck down off of Nana Street here in Bangkok, and then partnered up, helped them get their license, and then we opened up a shop here in Bangkok. It's called Thai Terps. We also have another shop in Phuket called Thai Terps in Kata Beach, more down south, you know, southwest on the island. And then we have some other shops in the process of trying to open up. And, you know, right now focusing on the grow aspect. We have two grow licenses, and just focusing on trying to, you know, get some good genetics going, bring some good stuff here. And I'm just really thankful for the opportunity to, you know, talk with people like you that are out here in the industry doing this, be able to be in the industry out here, because it's basically like, it's like the whole United States industry all over again. It's like the start of it. And if you remember and you were very in it, like I was even before 2013, you know, between 2009 in California and 2013 was the big pushing time, and that's what this reminds me of. And this is the domino. If the domino gets pushed in the right direction, the right way, basically all the other, at least a lot of the other Southeast Asia countries, along with, you know, other countries around this area will see the change. The biggest thing is, you know, this sucks to say, but this money is run around, or this world is run around money. So they'll see the tax revenue that this country is going to be intaking just due to cannabis, and other governments will, they're not stupid. They see that cannabis is already there in their country. It's everywhere. So instead of trying to make it illegal and arrest and prosecute, you know, it's manage and tax. So that's what I see this as being the first domino effect over here, kind of what happened in the United States with, you know, California, Colorado being the domino effects. And then now we're over the 50% mark of states that have some use of cannabis in a legal form.
Oh yeah. Have you I guess what are your thoughts on the market so far, as you know, obviously there's been a lot of people worrying, and I think unnecessarily, that they're going to close the door, and I think that's completely crazy. You know, the cat's out of the bag. There's too many people making money. There's too many, you know, Thai companies making money. So I think it's been kind of crazy, but you know, that everyone's kind of been talking about that so much. But what do you think as far as the market going forward? What are kind of some of the next steps that you see the market is going here in Thailand?
That's very tricky, because this market can go so many ways. So it's funny. I think the reason I'm in the position I'm in is because I've kind of foreshadowed a lot of those ways. Hold on one second, I'm getting water. Thanks, man. Thanks so much. So, sorry about that, guys. But so I see this market going a lot of different ways, and I don't have the pull. It's not that I have the pull on that. Not to say that people don't have the pull. I just went to I don't know if you saw, but in Newton had kind of a conference at the health administry, and I went to that and whatnot, and just through the translation, and then my partner translating it for me and stuff like that. Like, I see it happening. Like, I don't like foreshadowing too much, and then, like, I'm not gonna say I'm right on everything, but so far with how the licenses came out, how they've been talking about it, how the industry has been going, every single thing I've kind of foreshadowed has happened, especially with the licenses, and it's happened a lot quicker. Usually in America, there's a grace period where they'll enact a law or they'll enact policies, and you have like a 2-3 month grace period until that's officially, you know, whether it be certain changes in edibles or certain changes in labeling and packaging or whatever it may be, you have a grace period. Here, it doesn't seem to be too much of a grace period, like how the licenses happened. It was overnight. It was like everybody freaking out. I woke up to all these messages, this piece of paper, and then people freaking out because they were saying you can't sell unless you have a license, because before you didn't even need a license to sell. Everybody's just selling out of trucks, selling out of shops with nothing. And I knew the licenses were going to come. That's the only way to have a legal aspect. And then, you know, what they're trying to do now, I said as well, is like the same thing that happened in California and in Colorado. You know, when you just open the floodgates, people see the opportunity, especially in the beginning. It's usually very cheap and very easy to get a license. It's not too hard to fill out the paperwork. It's not too much money. And it's always one of two ways that industries go in every single country once they do this. And we're like, oh shit, like, sorry, oh crap, we're okay. Like, oh shit, like, we open the floodgates, like, what do we do now? Well, it's one of two things. That either one, pull back in the aspect of how to get a license. So they make it a lot harder and they make it a lot more expensive. So they make the paperwork more extensive, more background checks, more, hey, you have to go get this or go get that or have this or have that or show this or show that, whether it be bank statements or, you know, work history or criminal history or a whole bunch of stuff. And then they also usually increase prices. So it kind of sheds certain people out of the running that could have, because, you know, that's just what happens. And or they do that for a little while, see if it works or not. And or depending on areas, they just stop completely. They just stop completely and stop issuing licenses or basically putting holds on applications. And I see that happening here, you know, just in Phuket alone, where our shop is, like there's over 400 licenses issued. Now they haven't issued them yet. They're still working on them. I called last week and it's like they're on 43 or something, 45. And so out of 400 and something, we're like 100 and something. And so I could see in a place like that there, in certain provinces and stuff like that, in certain places saying, all right, we're putting a hold on licenses issued or applications being able to be accepted due to an overabundance of them and us having to catch up or us having to see how the market in this area is going to be. So that's how I really see it going forward. I also see, you know, from some things I've heard, because, you know, it is Thailand, if you know what that means. And, you know, I've heard from some people that know more than me, a lot more. Like you said, I'm an expert in the beginning of the Thailand industry. I'd say I'm more of towards an expert when it comes to cannabis, if you'd say anything, because that's all I've done for a career. Now, when it comes to Thailand industry, like, you know, I'm learning just like everybody else because it is so new. But due to my experience in working in a lot of other countries and new emerging industries with cannabis, yeah, everything's playing out here like it's played out in other countries, in other states. That's kind of how, you know, we're humans. We all work very similar. So it's not hard to see how some places working and then how other places adopt similar things, or, you know, so we'll see. I see edibles becoming a bigger thing, and I know people don't believe it, but just due to some things that have changed in, like, hence, like before it used to be illegal to have a vape, like a nicotine vape. Now it's not illegal. Now it's not illegal to have a nicotine vape if you're just the consumer of it. If you're, you know, smoking on the street or this or that, or a cop stops you and finds you with it, now you can't get a ticket or get, you know, in trouble for it if you're just, you know, smoking it yourself for personal use. They just changed some laws. But if you're selling it, you still get in trouble. But that is the first steps when it comes to the perception of the mind. I definitely do see them adopting, and from some things I've heard, you know, some forms of more oil and concentrate, whether it be, I don't know if it will be full on like dabs, like maybe what you and me think of when we think of concentrate. Maybe certain applicators like vape pens that are smaller in dose, or you can regulate it more. I don't know, but I see that definitely coming in this next year, along with edibles being increased in percentage of what's allowed. Because there are people still, even though edibles and concentrates aren't being allowed, you probably understand this, a lot of dispensaries still have them. We don't have them here. We just stick to the, you know, we sell seeds, clones, and flower, but, you know, other companies do, and it'll change over time.
Yeah, so that's a great question that you asked about that, or that you bring that up. I know I'm certainly looking to launch my, I have a whole line of sublinguals and beverages and instant drinks that'll do well out here in the temperature, because, you know, doing shelf stability for America versus shelf stability for what, you know, a dispensary here where half of them have no climate control, completely different kind of formulations for your products for shelf stability and all that, packaging, nitrogen flushing, all that's going to be much more important here. because, you know, a lot of your people are going to distribute to are going to be not necessarily in an air conditioned building. So definitely something else that I think people, you know, don't consider it when they're coming out to some of the newer markets.
100%. Chocolate,
Okay.
man. Chocolate's not going to last on the shelf like it does in other places.
Yeah, gummies too can melt on you depending on your formulations and the heat here. So it's, you know, a lot of different stuff to consider when you're coming to these more tropical. But if you've worked in the tropics before, then it's, you know, you've worked in the tropics before. So at least that part's good, and both of us have done that.
I tell people it's like growing or doing stuff in Florida. You know, I guess if you're in the United States, that'd be probably one of the best states I could say that's similar to this: the heat, the humidity, the aspect. So
Absolutely. So what are you guys doing for cultivars? You said, you know, I know you work on the grow side real heavily. Tell us about the cultivars that you're growing. Are you doing more Western stuff? Are you doing a lot of Thai stuff? I know we're doing about 40% Thai to 60%, you know, non-Thai.
So right now I've just started like my pheno room. So I have like a 12 light pheno room with another 4 light kind of like mother seed popping room that I have started, and both of them are going now. And I have a buddy here that I got some more Western genetics that he popped and grew here, and then due to his situation he had to move. So I ended up getting like 25 big plants. Like when I already bought clones from another buddy that lives in Huhuian that is in the industry, and I ended up getting these plants for him and helping him out. They're good genetics. These other strains are also Western genetics. I have tons of seeds, obviously from back home, and I have stuff from homies like Jeff and, you know, my buddy Twisty from Oklahoma and stuff. I'm trying to get more Thai strains. Since you've been here a little longer, you probably have more links to that. That's actually why I'm, you know, really looking forward to our friendship, and, you know, hopefully be able. I don't care about money. Of course, like we all have to keep our overhead and this and that and keep our bills going. But I care more about making good connections. And like I play, like you really know me, I play for my funeral. You know, in the end, am I gonna want people coming to my funeral talking to my children that I don't even have yet, but talking to my children about, you know, oh, me and your dad made so much money in the cannabis industry, or hey, your dad changed my life. We did some good stuff. Like he really helped me. I helped him. Like we became good friends. We're good people. Like that's what I care more about. And so I'm just over here really, you know, really thankful for this opportunity, wanting to meet as many connections and really just make as many friends as possible that like doing what I do as much as I do. And, you know, I had somebody that I don't know, you might know this gentleman. I'm still getting, you know, educated on Thai culture industry, especially when it comes to cannabis and growers. But KD, when I say KD, does that ring a bell when it comes to any strains of plants?
No, I haven't. I'm not the best person to ask. The best person, I was hoping he'd be on the show today, but he's, I guess, busy this morning, is Infamous Gardens. He knows a lot of the different Thai strains, and then Canna Thai seeds. Those two guys have been growing here longer than they've been growing here for, you know, over 10 or so they know all the different Thai names of the hype stuff and all that.
They probably would know this. And then, 'cause I had a gentleman that stopped by the other day, and because of my partner, there was a gentleman that used to be a big part of the cannabis growing scene here, I guess, that grew a strain called KD. And I think this gentleman passed away or something. I'm still trying to get the full story because it wasn't translated and fully explained to me. But from my understanding, it was this gentleman that was big in the grow scene out here that grew this strain KD. A lot of Thai growers and people in the scene know when you say that, they know or whatnot. I saw it at another dispensary, Fat Buds, had some KD there, and it's more of a Thai strain, but his cousin, I believe it is, dropped off a strain because like he took over everything for him when he passed away. and dropped off a KD strain. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting that and maybe being able to cross that with something. So we'll see. But yeah, that's I want to get more Thai strains and really cross some good Western stuff, get some good Western males, and cross it with the stuff here and make some good stuff. You know, I think certain strains will grow really good here, even if it's just Western stuff. But I think other stuff, depending on how you're growing, you know, a lot of people, a lot of grows I've been seeing are greenhouses and outdoor grows, which are okay. But depending on what time of the year, this atmosphere out here is not always your friend, man. It's not your friend.
Oh, so didn't realize I was muted. What are some of the other different challenges you found as far as getting inputs, or if you're running any issues with that? The only thing that I wish I had here is Suff oil. I wish I had Suff oil X, but we managed to find white oil, agricultural white oil, which is functionally the same thing. So I don't know if you've had any challenges, but have you had anything that you couldn't find here that you're used to using, or have you been able to find?
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, just the basic stuff sometimes is difficult. As in, like, you can find everything here, and if you have good people that are locals and stuff like that, it makes it a lot easier. But and since we are so close to China, everything you really do need can be imported, and everything just takes sometimes longer. I definitely see a huge void, and someone could come in here and make huge money right now setting up, and I've almost been tempted if I had more time, but basically setting up a grow shop. You know how we have it in the States is you have a central grow shop that makes it a lot easier for growers. And here there are a lot of people that are wanting to grow, and a lot of locals that, since it is becoming legal, that want to do it themselves and this and that. And now while they think they can just grow it outside, and they can, that you can't grow top shelf cannabis outside here really. It's very hard, even in a greenhouse, unless that's a sealed, industrialized greenhouse, not just a tarped greenhouse. So I mean, the biggest thing that I'd say I probably have had complications with getting, so I basically can get everything. It's just not, exactly the same. So it's just, getting used to, like, even fans being a little different, lights being a little different, trays being a little thinner, not a little more flexible. So having to make sure you have a good frame for them. But good nutrient lines. So, like, I know a lot of stuff over here, if you're doing organic, I totally get it. I come more from the last 6 years of growing in America, and a lot of places now we grow for terpene production. We don't grow for flower production. Like, I haven't grown a cannabis plant for smoking flower in 5-ish years. Almost all my weed has been grown for oil, for rosin. And I don't care if I pop a seed, hunt it, it grows to be 3 pounds of plants, and it looks amazing. If I wash it and it doesn't hit 5 to 7%, then it's usually not, profitable wise speaking. It's not smart to run it. So you hunt other stuff unless you can sell it premier. Some more come from the rosin market for the last little while. So I like to run nutrients in the aspect of synthetics. I know a lot of people are a big hype on organic, and I even will attest to, I've worked with a lot of different people in the garden, and I've seen a lot of weird shit and whatnot. And, coming down to scientifically speaking, as long as the molecules that the plant are uptaking are synthetically, like polymers and stuff like that, the plants can absorb it the same way. And when it comes to flushing and all that, that's easy if you know what you're doing. So, but yeah, so the biggest thing is maybe reputable clones. So I usually do, the first run or two to dial in a room through clones, just so you're not wasting good genetics. If you're trying to pop seeds and stuff like that, you get one room dialed in that you at least can grow some bigger plants. So then you can maybe take some cuts off and grow out a room. But I don't know. A lot of people say they have this or say they have that. And since this is a newer market, I don't know if I believe you. Like, I'd believe you. But yeah, I don't know if I believe everybody when they say they have this from this person or this from this person, because I've noticed that Thailand is a big hype market. People like name brands, and it's not hard to throw a name on something.
Oh yeah, you go into the packaging stores. Every single one has a whole section for cookies packaging. It's fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, like across the country, you can go buy the packaging for cookies. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's just it. And Cookies is now coming here. I actually have a buddy that has a shop 2 doors down from where Cookies is popping up. And so that just makes it even harder for people to dissect from the truth and what's not the truth. People like you and me, if you've been around the industry enough and you've done some of the classes that I've taken and whatnot, like there's literally taking a nug, cracking it, smelling it, noticing where it shows up in your nose, and knowing more if it sways towards, even though there's no such thing as indica or sativa, but knowing if it sways more towards the traditional indica sativa aspect of a plant. So
Well, I find most of the time when people talk about indica, it's mostly just myrcene dominant, or myrcene and some other more stony or terpenes.
yeah, man. So you just brought something up which kind of started my whole career, and I don't know how. That's the other thing. I don't know how long these go for. Like, this could either be an hour thing, or this could be like a Joe Rogan thing.
So we normally go an hour and a half, 2 hours. So you still have a good hour.
Okay. Yeah, you stop me. Yeah, you stop me whenever, because I can talk forever on cannabis because I like it, and I have learned a decent amount through my years, just because I've been, my big aspect of a lot of my jobs has been management. I'm pretty good at organizational aspects of companies, and making sure things get done. Managing people and projects. So, like in the United States, I was in charge of one of the first patient programs. So the 5 top people that were on like CNN, NBC, Fox, all the top news back in 2009 to 2013, to kind of have the push for legalization for medical aspects. I was kind of in charge at one point of getting like the top 5 advocates in the world through medicine, through a patient program that was running out of Colorado. A lot of these people and their families would move to Colorado. Some of them were, as young as 4 all the way up to like 96, 97 with some of my patients. And I worked for like some of the top doctors, and then I was the one that kind of orchestrated and organized, when certain medication ran out, when more needed to get to the patients, how to get it to the patients, whether it be the parents or the actual patients, and helping them know how to administer it, educating both them and the patient, certain side effects and everything like that. So we found out through those studies, like, I dismissed, at least in my own head, and through what we have and a lot of people I work with, like, there's no such thing as indica sativa. If you want to classify anything as anything, it'd be more hybrid. Everything's hybrid, especially with how many crosses that there are in the world nowadays. And the fact of like indica sativa originally, it started from like coming from people like you and me, growers of back of more where it originated from, geographically speaking. And then we started using it more as a marketing ploy of, indica in the couch, sativa, bouncing off the wall. And while that might be true for some, that's not true for all. I've had friends the exact opposite, And what we learned through these studies is we dove in heavily on terpenes. Like the company here is called Thai Terps. Why did I name it Thai Terps? Not just because, we talk about, yo, what terps you got, this and that in the States, and that's kind of lingo and the culture, what it evolves to. So getting into the culture before it evolves to what it will evolve to, but also, terps and terpenes are really the medical benefit that comes to us from cannabis. People don't understand it. They look at the medical benefit of cannabis as THC and CBD because those are the two cannabinoids that have been talked about the most, which I'd actually have to even argue that there's other cannabinoids like CBN and CBG and CBC and other things that realistically do bigger medical benefits than even THC and CBD. But when we really looked at it, you and me could be twins. We could be brothers. We could have the same, Crohn's or something, whatever you want to say that we're trying to medicate with cannabis for. And, we both react differently. Our bodies react differently to the same dosage, same medicine. And we really found out that it's the terpenes that are the molecular vehicles for the cannabinoids. So you got to think of you and me as like THC and CBD. And then when we smoke cannabis, there's anywhere between 150 and 300 different terpenes that make up that ratio. Now, most people think of terpenes as just the smell and the taste of cannabis. And while that's true, that's not the only thing. Those 150 to 300 different terpenes are basically like, you got to think of them as like trains, planes, cars, motorcycles, bicycle, and walking for the cannabinoids. They all are different ways and speed and processes for the cannabinoids to bind to and transfer through our body and give us basically, whether it be the high effect or, with CBD, CBG, and CBN, a lot of the soothing effects to joints and, certain nerve cells, like those get transferred through terpenes. So that's what, that's where indica, why strains that feel the same to certain people and why you might label as indica or label certain things as sativa is because there's a subset of terpenes that make up that strain, and a lot of sativa strains or indica strains that are similar have a lot of different terpenes that are, closer in percentages and categories. That's why you feel similar. But like I said, people are different. You could smoke something that, makes you bounce off the wall. I'll smoke one hit of it and I'll be like more like, I'm kind of tired. It feels me like I feel like an edible I ate or something like that. So
Oh yeah. Well, I can take an ungodly amount of edibles, but I'm just used to it. I take them all the time. But yeah, I totally feel you on that. It's certainly interesting with all the different chemistry. I know that we've had a lot of luck with doing like a 4-to-1 or 3-to-1 CBD to THC ratio with like a 0.2 to 0.5% linalool in a lot of our inputs for seizures, and that seems to work extremely well, especially for kiddos with seizure stuff. That particular ratio. So I think as we get to learn more about these different things, you're going to start to see these custom combined formulations for different aspects and different hardships that people have with their medical stuff.
yeah, and the funny thing is that's what we were doing back in 2015 to 17. So we were the first company to use thin film distillation equipment in cannabis. So back in the day, so we did a lot of the first things. Company I worked with was the first company as well to do a full cannabis terpene extraction. Back in the day, Blue River was the only other company that was selling and extracting terpenes, but they were doing, a very small subset fraction of the cannabis plant. It wasn't the full terpene fraction, and we figured out how to do that. But then what we were doing is, that's funny you say about seizures. There was one patient, was having, like, very young child having 4, 5, 6 seizures a day, bro. And the doctor's like, yo, if they keep having these, like, they might die in like a week or two because, like, they're so young, it's not good. And we got them on, a similar aspect And they went from having a seizure, 5, 6 a day to one every like 90 to 100 days. And that's what we were doing there, is like basically separating everything and then trying to formulate it back together in different ratios and different percentages for different people. And the thing is, like, that's what is going to happen more and more as certain countries and certain medical programs are put into places, because we need to do true medical studies, true white papers for all these tests, not government owned. Like, that's just it. There have been studies, and if you really read white papers of the studies, and you know how to read scientific data of these studies, they're just manipulated studies. Any scientific study can be manipulated to have an achievable outcome. If you study this stuff like I have and went to school for this stuff, like and that's how the pharmaceutical companies do us dirty, in my opinion, is you can persuade and set up certain studies if you know what you're doing to lean towards a certain way. And a lot of the cannabis studies from back in the day, that's what happened. The traditional, one of the first ones, they stuck 50 Colombian joints on a monkey and force fed it all the joints with no oxygen, just the fucking smoke, just burnt. Basically, like, if you hooked up I attested to what we do in the States now with like leaf blowers or bed pumps, where you stick a huge thing on it and you light it and then you turn it on and it just blows the whole thing. Well, imagine 50 Colombian sized blunts just being fed to a small child or monkey, what they did without any oxygen for like an hour. Like,
Oh yeah,
you're gonna die. You're gonna die from carbon dioxide poisoning, not from the fucking cannabis. And they're gonna blame it on whatever they're gonna say it's from the cannabis.
oh yeah, no, that's exactly what that you just, like you're saying, the study that talked about cannabis killing brain cells. Well, no, it wasn't that. It was the lack of the oxygen deprivation. Like,
Yes,
it's nothing to do
yes.
with this. So
And that's what's like. That's just it. Like, you're gonna die from carbon monoxide poisoning before you're gonna die from a cannabis. They even thought cannabis oil you might be able to overdose from. And I won't even lie, at one point I attested to trying to somewhat overdose myself, as in the sense of, in the name of science, at one point, and when I was younger and stupid, thinking I was funny too. But yeah, cool, let's try to kill me, I guess. Like, let's smoke as many dabs in as short of a period as possible. And I actually used to get paid to just smoke that. Like, at one point I actually almost went to the hospital for a collapsed lung, but due to sulfur intake, because these cannabis dabs were extracted. Sorry, excuse me. I sneeze in threes. But no, it was, so if you know about like late sulfur sprays in a grow for PM and stuff like that. Well, we found out when we first started doing terpene fraction and extraction that, if you did a late sulfur spray, that would come off in the fraction of terpenes in the band. Dude, one day I smoked like 30 dabs of just sulfur, it felt like. And I was on the floor at the end of the day, like I could feel my lung inside like quivering. Like, it was weird. And like I sat there for like an hour, like just like focus, like I meditated, just like focusing on my breathing. I was like, and like I stopped. That was the last time I like smoked like that for the job. Actually, it's like almost felt like some of those videos you see on Instagram sometimes. Like, I've seen these videos lately of people testing e-cigarettes, and they have like a big box and they're just like smoking all of them. Like, that's not healthy. That's not good. That's not what should be done to test a product, but they do it anyways because it's other countries, or it's a job. So,
well, they had a OMMA really cracked down that on Oklahoma, the dab contests and stuff like that. You can't have like, it's basically the equivalent to like binge drinking. And it's like, yeah, no, I think we should all promote responsible use, and I'm definitely all about that. So I definitely feel you on that. But you know, it's
Yeah.
interesting with the sulfur stuff. You can take a little piece of it, like roll it into a little string, and light the end of it with a match and just smell it. A lot of times you can smell the sulfur when you light it up.
Yeah, so I was smoking more liquid, in the sense of it was straight terps. So it was
Okay.
like water, but basically the same thing. Like after that one day of smoking, because I smoked so many different things. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze again. Woo!
Gesundheit.
Allergies kicking in again. But plain and simple, after that one day, because I smoked so many different samples, I started being able to tell, because it wasn't like an overwhelming sulfur smell. It was a little different because it was mixed in a small portion of sulfur, but when you smoked it, that's what was predominant in the aspect of like the taste, and it was bad. Yeah, there's not too much you can do. There are some techniques that people are trying to, remediate the sulfur out of it, other extraction processes that would then just take that out. But when you just take that out, you're also taking other things out as well. So that's what all these filters and whatnot do in extraction. So
Oh yeah. So what about pests stuff? Has that been an issue? Or are you growing all indoor exclusively, so that's not much of an issue? Or what are you?
yeah, so that's funny. I was gonna actually ask you if you know where to get some stuff so as preventative. So
Sure.
I do grow inside. So I don't worry as much about pests, but it is Thailand. It is very humid. Bugs are even inside. So, you know, I always, like to do like a neem oil spray or something light as a preventative. But I haven't actually gotten anything for that yet out here. I'm about 2 weeks into I have like 50 clones that are like yay high. And then I have another 25 plants that are about to be flipped that I got from my buddy. They all look healthy, all look good. But yeah, I like to usually go to grow, like I'm a physical buyer and a physical shopper in the aspect of I like to go places and see stuff and touch things. Even if I know this bottle of water, like I like to physically go there and like I do weird shit because I've worked long enough in this industry to understand like I'll do stuff like this, like push on the side of the bottle. Like how flimsy is the bottle? No joke, because I've had shit happen when I'm carrying bottles and like I dropped it and then it cracked the bottle and it leaked everywhere. Well, cool. I don't want to accidentally drop something or have a worker accidentally drop something. I'm not worried about me doing things. I'm worried about like workers or some doing stuff because they're newer to the industry or learning or don't know all the little small nuances and like they do something and then this is a big headache, man. When like I'm like, I knew this. I should have explained better that if you drop these type of bottles, they're gonna crack because they're really thin and stuff like that, like simple things. But no, I haven't gotten. And so like I like to go to the nutrient companies or nutrient shops. I found one grow shop here where I actually got like 4x8 trays, and then they have they have like those buckets that you spin around, and they have the nipples on them, the air pots that we call them in America, like aeropots, but everybody uses them here. And I wanted to physically feel them because I bought two from online and one was thick and one was thinner than I wanted. So stuff like that, I tell people if you're from the States and you come over here and do something, just expect to work on Thai time. And you understand that by the smile you just gave me. And while some people don't mind it, it frustrates the fuck out of me because I don't work that way. I don't work that way at all.
When I was in Jamaica, I had a guy, one of the kids there that worked for us. He grew up in Brooklyn and then got caught selling weed and got deported back to Jamaica. So he knew how to hustle. And he was like my point man for all that. And he also knew how to like light a fire under the ass of the other Jamaicans to get them going. And out here we have a similar type of team where we have somebody that was, you know, Thai but lived in Switzerland for a long time and kind of gets the whole, you know, that aspect of stuff. So it helps makes things run a little smoother and a little nicer. So I definitely feel you on that. But yeah, even then you still have to be patient. And then sometimes stuff shows up a day early when you order it. Sometimes it's 2 days late. You just have to kind of take
And then
the
sometimes
average.
it's completely wrong. As in, like, no joke, you'll go to buy something and you'll think it's like one size, and it's like, I'm talking mini size. Like it's like a showroom piece or something like that. Like there's tons of different little things that happen. But yeah, just be prepared for that. If you can, I tell people grow inside here. It's gonna be very hard to grow. So what's gonna happen the next 6 months to a year, and it's already kind of happening. So that I've been saying 6 months to a year for the last 5 months. So it's like already almost there, like minimum, but like there's gonna be so much outdoor greenhouse cannabis. And unless you're very, very, very well educated, like I don't give a fuck if you come from California and you've been growing in greenhouses. It's not the same growing out here in greenhouses. Not even close. And if you come out here or you're out here and you're doing that, a lot of people are just seeing this top shelf bud that's being imported right now. A lot of weeds being imported, and to grow the quality of the stuff that's being imported in this type of atmosphere, I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's basically impossible to grow it outside. And if you're going to grow it outside, you have to do a lot of extra work in the aspect of like before harvest and trimming. You have to defan the fuck, basically have to wet trim. You have to chop and hang in smaller increments, and you have to also do it inside, not like in your greenhouse with lines across it like other people do. You have to, like, you know this, the chop and the cure is the most important, and like you can't really do it outside or in a greenhouse or anything. It has to, and you can't even do it in like a traditional warehouse. Like if that warehouse is built, it has to be like a double sealed, insulated warehouse, climate controlled warehouse, not like those big tin warehouses that are just like out here. They're fucking saunas, bro. They're just like, I don't care unless you're putting like so many tons of AC on the top. That just it doesn't matter. Those ACs are just going to be running constantly unless it's insulated and sealed, like all the stuff I'm talking about. So yeah, unless you do that, you can't really grow outside correctly here. You can't grow mass farms outdoor and grow to the quality that people are going to want on the top shelf. And what's going to happen is basically people are going to have to sell it for pennies on the dollar because there's going to be so much of it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a lot of it. That's the only thing that I feel that will save this country when that totally tips over, when there's like all these people just growing outside, growing on their farms, growing wherever, just because they want to make the lots of money that they thought they could make, but then they can't. And now there's just a shit ton of weed everywhere, but nothing to do with it. The only thing to save people will be for me to come in, or people like me to come in and know what they're doing with extraction and distillation, come in and just swoop all that. I could literally take the whole country and not wash it for rosin, but run it and make it in a distillate, which then could be made into a shit ton of edibles, vape carts, other products, bath bombs, rubs, basically anything but flour. So I feel the overgrown country, because that's what's going to happen here.
Oh yeah, I know we just built a new 3-story building inside of one of our buildings. It's kind of just like you're describing, a shell within the shell. It's all insulated. We have air conditioning separate for each room. It has its own separate climate control and dehumidification. It has UV air sterilizers and the HVAC and ozonators on in and out. So make sure we're not bringing in pollen or sending pollen out the door. And we can, all set up for the breeding rooms on downstairs. And then we have drying rooms on the upper floor. So, yep, I definitely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's good. Cause like most people see most people, if you're out in a huge building, like most people don't even think of what you just said. They just like, oh, let's just grow weed. Cause like out here you can put what's happening and what I'm seeing is like, I just know people, I guess. Like it's not just cannabis. Like I wish I was just a grower, but I work more with people, manage people than I manage plants. I wish I just managed plants, but they work easier. But plain and simple, you put any plants outside here in Thailand, and for the first 4 to 6 weeks, they flourish. Like, they blow the fuck up because the atmosphere is kind of right almost all year round for growing. Very good humidity. Like, plants can just like drink off the air from the humidity. There's a lot of light, a lot of sun. But, there's just, after those 4-ish weeks at most, and when you're budding, it's just horrible, bro. Mold and bud rot and so much stuff. And yeah, that's why everybody's like, also like, I've seen a lot of big sway of autos out here. Just everybody's doing autos. So you can grow all year long. I don't know your opinion on autos, but I don't really like them.
I think once people have had more time to stabilize them, I think they'll be really good, for the future of cannabis long term, especially for new home growers. I think, if your dad's just getting into growing weed for the first time, like pretty hard to screw it up. He's going to get something. It's not going to be the same as if you grew a photo plant, but he'll still have something to smoke at the end. He'll feel good about it. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the day that they have a great role for that. And I think that if I could plant a whole field of autos and crank them out here and have them similar size so that it's not a pain in the ass to deal with when it comes to spraying and pruning and harvesting, yeah, that'd be great. But the problem we've had is every time I run them, I always run, 100, 200, I'll run a couple hundred at a time with autos. They're schizophrenically like inconsistent. I'll have some that are 3.5 pounds, which are great. If they were all that size and grew at that speed, hell yeah, like that, that's really, really great. But 2/3 of them are or 3/4 of them are just going to be sticks. And that's the problem is I've yet to have, and I've run a lot of different stuff. There's definitely a couple people, Pride of the Lion Seeds was a little bit better than most. And a couple of others that were, certainly, much more on the heavier side and much fewer of the sticks for sure. But, I still haven't found one that, or even Fast Buds, we've had a couple of good runs out of some of their stuff, but I still haven't found any that to me were worth it to plant acres. And to me, that's what I'm looking for. I want to see the consistency to where there's only maybe a tiny handful that are out of the usual, and then they're all going to be at least 1/2 pound, because why not just plant autos out here? I could just clone up all my great shit, something that's going to be pretty resistant, kick it outside, like the red Lebanese puck and stuff that's super spider mite resistant. I could throw that out here and it's probably going to do just fine. It even likes the heat here. In fact, it kicks ass. But if I had an auto of that and I could harvest it, every 90 days, that'd be fucking tits. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's basically, yeah, I agree with you on all of that. That's basically why I'm saying I don't like autos. It's for that exact reason, is the aspect of like, yeah, there is no consistency. And so even if you've maybe found one bag that you like, and then you go to try to, even if you bought 10 bags of seeds, like one won't be one might be good and then the rest won't. So yeah, the inconsistency I don't like.
They are nice though for throwing in your mom room, so you say a little smoke between runs. They're great for that though.
No,
We have
definitely. And it will.
Did I just come in with you guys bagging on autos? Did I just come in right
Yeah.
in time to defend those guys?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He was
I
asking
can
too about
defend. I can defend them from. I can defend them from different areas, but depending on what you do for a living and why you're growing, it's very hard for me to say autos is always good because like what you were saying, the people starting or this or that is good, but for a gentleman like you, if you're trying to, like you said, grow a whole field and want a little more consistency, I haven't seen too many companies or genetics out there that is consistent not only once or twice but like over time when it comes to that. So I agree, that's the only thing. Like I've grown them, but like yeah, if I can get some just unautoed or fem seeds, like I would rather take that
every day, all day.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Canatized Seeds. Welcome, Infamous Prophet.
Buddy Cup. What's up, y'all?
What's up,
what is
Solomon?
going on.
I have a question for our guest. Did I order seeds from you on Instagram by any chance?
I doubt it.
Okay, well, my name's Infamous Gardens on Instagram, so it mustn't have been.
Well, I might have talked to you on Instagram, but I have not sold any seeds to anybody unless you've walked into my shop.
Okay, no, okay, different story then, but okay.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I was gonna say, if you got scammed, guess what, buddy? I understand.
No.
There's a lot of people. I got scammed by somebody actually out here since I've been out here on seeds. So that's been actually my reluctant to. I only go through reputable sources now because I went through one person trying to get some autos for some people, and dude took my money and ran. It happens.
You had a question about a strain. What was it? KD. These guys would know the answer to that one.
Yeah. So you guys know anybody that is, I guess, famous out here in Thailand? He passed away supposedly, but he grew a strain named KD, and I guess he was
talking about. Yeah, you're talking about what's his name? The guy that passed away.
Lung Dum, that's what you're talking about. Yeah.
who?
Lung Dum, he's the guy.
Yeah, Lung Dum. Yeah. That's what.
made,
Yeah.
KD
What about
strain or whatever.
What about the KD? There's
Oh
a
no,
difference.
because I think it's his cousin or his brother is really good friends with my business partner, and just came by my shop the other day and dropped off a KD, and like my partner was trying to explain this to me, that this gentleman was like well known in the cannabis Thai growing area, but he passed away. But this was like some of his genetics. So yeah, I was just trying to find
that's
other
not
people.
Lung Dum, that's Lung 2 or whatever.
Lung,
He
there
was
it
like
is.
an ex-cop. Yeah. The guy who died was Lung 2.
Lung Dum, yeah.
And he didn't do the KD. Lung Dum did the KD, and he's still alive. But Lung 2, he's like an ex-cop, and he like turned to like the growing community after he retired or whatever, and he passed away.
Okay. Okay. No, thanks for that. Yeah, because I've been trying to get the backstory on this, because I got a clone of it gifted to me, so I was just wondering.
I got KD beans, bro. Like lots of different stuff with KD. That buddies, local teammates send this stuff, and I ran only KD once, and it was like the purple KD. I guess it got really dark, but it was a male. So I only had like one. I only had one. It was a male, so I just used it and I crossed it with something. But other than that, that was like 5 years ago. I was like when we first got here and started getting into
definitely.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I have some genetics in the room right now, but like that's what I came here for. If I wanted to stick just with the genetics from where I'm from or what I was doing, I'd stay where I was at doing what I was doing. But I really want to get some more landrace strains and some stuff part of the culture here. So I was happy how it all happened. I just didn't know the full story, or even any part of it really.
well, these guys definitely have some of the best Thai seeds available of anybody that I know that does seeds out here. So definitely talk to these guys after the show for sure.
I'm sitting here.
Definitely.
I'm sitting here sifting through a ton of these total mango right here, potent.
Nice.
Yeah, there's another Thai heirloom. They came from a buddy that had a bunch of flowers, so these got all pulled out of the flower. I got to smoke it. It was pretty good. I mean, the structure is what it is, but it's just hard mango. So
I wanted to plug this real quick just because Infamous is on here. One of the Siam Syrup 2.0s has just the loudest guava and peach smell I have ever smelled in my entire life. Like, holy shit. And it's in veg. I mean, the thing is only literally the plant's maybe 18 inches tall, and just big enough for me to take a clone by topping it. You know what I mean? To sex it. And it was so loud I had to stop and literally stop my whole team and was like, smell this. You find anything that's like this, you go stop everything and go get me. Like, you know. It's always fun to find those. Have you what are some of the different you've worked all over the place. What are some of the different interesting cultivars that you found in your travels and working around the industry, or maybe even working on the extract side? What are some of the interesting things that have come through the door? Maybe that's even an easier question for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's been weird because just like over time, I've really looked and grown with this plant differently because you can pop so many seeds, and like you just said, like something can really shine through. A pheno can really just come through, wash better, smell, taste, everything. I'm a big, so it's funny. So I have a solventless company, do a lot of solventless, but I personally still like BHO and stuff like that due to the fact of I like citrus strains. I like, I like lemon G's, clementines, orange peels, stuff like that. And they just come out better when you run them instead of wash them. But I'm still wanting some like that. So when you say that, the first thing that came to my mind is like back in like 2015, I found, I used to be heavy into, the lemon G, like the true Ohio lemon G, like coming, and this stuff used to make my mouth, every time I took a dab or smoked it, I would literally like, and my mouth's almost feeling this way. Like I'd puck, like when you think of something very sour, your mouth just starts to hurt a little bit. Cause it's like your cheeks hurt from eating something sour. And I used to have this Death by Lemons cut. My buddy had the cut, and it was phenomenal. I haven't seen anything like that in a while. I don't know I think that stuff would do well out here if you crossed it with some, literally like when he was talking about his mango seeds that he's sifting through, like literally like crossing something like that. Like I want to get more citrus strains out here. I think they do better if you're growing outside. If you are growing outside, I'm growing inside, so I don't really care. But like, I think, I think some lemon G's out here would actually be awesome.
I want to grow some of that, bro. I've always heard all about the lemon G crosses. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And lemon G grows perfect for this type of atmosphere. Like a lemon G, if you saw how it would grow inside a room, most people don't keep lemon G because it's not worth it. It like grows very like wispy and very like not full, but it makes such a good concentrate that's why people would keep it in their gardens. But for out here, like I think the market would like it. So I think of both ways. Like I don't ever just grow. Like if I just wanted to grow just for me, like I wouldn't even be on this talking with you guys. I'd just be in my basement. Leave me alone. Like don't talk to me. I'm growing for myself. Don't want to share. Don't want to teach or educate or do anything. But I don't lie. It takes a lot out of me sometimes talking with like people or educating people because like I just want to be alone sometimes. I think why we're growers sometimes. But the lemon G I think out here would go, that or a clementine would not only grow very well, but people, I think it would blow up in the aspect of a lot of people out here haven't had too many citrus strains, like strains that when you smoke, you actually taste a fruit or taste some type of true hardcore flavor. And the aspect of most Thai people have come into my shop have only really smoked, Thai brick. And now with the new of the industry, and it is still a little too expensive for a lot of Thai locals to be able to be smoking, top shelf or even middle shelf bud every day, or if they do, it's like once a week. But I feel over time, as more and more growers are here and the market evolves, like we're gonna just the price 100% is coming down. I think certain things will stay where they're at, but it's just supply and demand is common sense, it'll come down. So
it's funny to see people who smoke or get the reactions or the feedback from people who smoke like some shit that'll couch lock you for the first time, or actually more than that. We had people hit my wife up and they cured it, and she would always tell them how to cure right if you want to hit the home run at the end, because you could do great all the way, and if you don't cure it right, you just lost everything. Really, that's how it is. So, but I mean, we had multiple customers hit her up telling her they just puked everywhere. They just smoked it and just fucking blue chunks. Just way too potent. It's funny.
Well, that, and like I also feel that it's been like, so I would attest, yes, potency, but also like I look at, so I've even had some people here that I've had to like walk through on their highness. So luckily I feel I'm in this position because of like I do DMT guiding and spiritual guiding when it comes to other plants. Like I go to Peru and do ayahuasca and all this other stuff. So like when it comes to cannabis, and if someone's overconsumed cannabis, I know how to talk people through that way easier than other substances I've talked people through. But like there's been even in the last week or two, there's been some people that have come here and maybe they've smoked. They want to act like it's not their first time. Yeah, I smoke every day, or I smoke a lot, or I used to smoke a lot. No, this is fine, this is easy. And then no, dude, like I'm not saying a bong rip, because like a lot of people I tell them not to smoke a bong. Like I'm here in a club, like if you guys ever come to Bangkok, we have like a little club area and stuff like that. And we have bongs and stuff like that. But like I tell people if it's their first time, like, well, first off, like probably smoke a joint. And then also, if you haven't smoked in a while, you haven't smoked stuff that's been this good ever, like roll a joint up, only take like a hit or two, because there's been like one gentleman like got so freaking out. It was like, weed is classified as a mild hallucinogen. It is. So people that haven't smoked before that then get super, 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 super high, you got to look at them as almost like they're tripping. And people like us sometimes forget that, because like we're like, yeah, right, like how do you trip off cannabis? I wish I could. But if you look at it that way, you help them through it that way, I feel it's better. Because like this guy thought he like literally almost wanted to go to the hospital. Like I've had friends like that. Like he's like, my heart's racing, like I'm gonna die. I'm like, bro, don't worry. First off, you can't die. Like unless I don't say this to them, but like unless you've had other pre-existing like heart problems, you can't really die. Like your heart can beat really fast, a lot faster than you think. And I'm like, watch, set a timer, look at your phone. Okay, it was like 11:50. I'm like, by 12:20, 12:30, you're gonna be fine. And within 15 minutes, he moved from the couch where he's like freaking out almost to the chair next to his friend eating pistachios. And then he just looks at me, gives me a thumbs up. And if you don't talk to people in the right way, whether you're high or not high, like for me, I get panic attacks, and I have certain, I teach meditation, I teach yoga, I teach breath work, I teach personal training, nutrition. I do a lot of things just for yourself because it's all connected. And, I get panic attacks. And what is a panic attack? That's just overthinking. So if someone's high and then you don't talk to them in the right lingo, in the right way, they're going to just push themselves over the edge. And yes, they're going to actually make themselves pass out from a panic attack. I've almost done that. So it's about talking to them in the right way and explaining certain things. And because like realistically speaking, we don't want anybody to go to the hospital when they don't need to, because it just looks worse on our industry and on our plants and on our culture that, you know, oh, so many people went to the hospital for cannabis, but in reality, like, unless it's like laced weed, which has happened in the United States, like there was people at some one point lacing cannabis with fentanyl and cocaine, which is stupid. But like, unless it's something like that, I don't really believe people should, you know, go to the hospital, because the hospital can't do shit for you. You know, I've been in that. Yeah. So, and it just makes it a bad, it basically strengthens and worsens our stigma in our industry. And my whole push about why I'm over here in Thailand, why I'm doing all this, why I'm an advocate when I don't really have to be. I can go back to my basement growing fucking weed and doing what I was doing. But it's because like to change the stigma, man. Like I grew up where I was looked at as a very bad person for being a part of this. You know, I've been to jail. I've, you know, had a lot of shit happen to me. So I'm trying to show people that no, you don't have to be a lazy stoner on the couch, just getting high, not doing anything with your life. You know, a lot of people, if you truly know my story, which would take like, I know I'm writing a book right now, so you guys can read that sometime, but you know, my journey has been very long to get to here, and it's not like ever simple for any of us, but yeah, I'm trying to change the stigma, because if I didn't do certain things, like I would be in jail 100% or dead 100% due just to the stigma around cannabis here in the world. Now it's changing, so it's not like it used to be. But
Hey,
Amen.
Canada, look, I just got. That's why I had to step off for a second.
Nice. Yeah, well, there's some flavors there for you, and it's going to be a lot of different stuff than you got out there now. So that's why I wanted to give that to you, because, dude, I can, you know, I can always get a little snipperoo later, and I'm stoked on that. So.
is that what we were talking about before everybody came on?
What's that?
Well, hold on, let me click. I'm trying to click on what he was showing. I couldn't.
This is seeds that came.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, he came down the other day and got some pollen from me. From my
that's pollen, dude. So that's what I've always thought that not too many people do, that I think would be the biggest thing for geneticists is, you know, why isn't there too many companies, you know, fucking drying, freeze drying, sealing, and fucking selling pollen, bro? I know there are. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there aren't, but like I've always looked at that market as being like so much more profitable.
Yeah, see right here. All right, I brought this home from Poland right here. I got the tie and the dose. I'm getting ready to go chuck this here in a little bit.
Hell yeah, man. Shit, bro, I need some pollen. You gonna be up at the Thai High convention?
Yeah, I'll be up there. Although my males might not be around them. The one male is just about finished, but I'll see what I got. If I have enough to harvest, I'll bring some up with me.
Hey, bro, check it out. Hey, Brett. In the near future, I have one hitter quitter, Guerrero Blaster, 44Ds, GMO Space Cheese, 707 Table Seed Pack from 707 Seed Bank, and what else I got going out there?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a gas mail or stuff like that, there's going to be some epic mails, and I'm not going to need them all.
Yes,
or
I
even
do.
if you want pollen, if you just want pollen or whatever.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm gonna try to do is just get some pollen, do some. So I want to do a lot of projects out here, man. That's why I'm out here. You know, I have opportunity to build a bigger grow as well here soon. Once I, get more things dialed in, I have some good seeds out here. I probably about like 10K worth of seeds. I got everything from strain hunters to Cali Connection to area genetics. Yeah, I got some Cali Connection downstairs that I'm selling I'm selling seeds in my shop. So I got seeds and clones I'm selling in my shop here in Bangkok. And I have Cali Connection, I have Dark Horse Genetics, I have my other buddy out of Oklahoma, Twisty Seeds. I got.
Hey, let me know, bro, if you want some more packs for your shelf.
So that basically, plain and simple, like anybody that has seeds or a genetic company that you know that wants to just get their name out there more and whatnot, like I can give you shelf space. We can work something out. I can basically give you a space to where you have a place to, have your seeds. You can promote, you can have people stop by Bangkok and right now, Bangkok and Phuket. Bangkok is just a good hub because, everybody flies in. You can always have people before they go on. A lot of people come here for vacation. So I've understood, they come here, they go to the islands or go up north or, go on vacation, but, they come here. The Bangkok is a stopping hub. So I'm trying to create right now a big seed bank and just a big seed hub for any friends or anybody where people can come, and whether it be locals or people, passing by and whatnot. So, I have shelf space I could put you on, like literally today. If they were here, they could be on the shelf in 10 minutes. So it's not about that. It's more about, and if we're going to do something, I like doing something, like with all of you guys, I'd like to do something. That's the whole point of me being out here, is like trying to meet the right people, make some good friends, people that, are just passionate about, whether this be legal or not legal. I was doing it before and I'll be doing it after, like just like you guys. So, yeah, I mean, I just love Thailand and the culture and the fact that now I don't have to, like before when I was here in 2018, the only thing I ever worried about was like, if I got stopped or pulled over and it was like I had weed. Now I don't have to worry about anything. I can drive my scooter around and go all over town. I got international driver license. I don't care about anything. I feel like an actual local a little bit, and like I'm meeting good people here. Like I'm looking forward to, I don't know if you're going to be there, if you can get there, the Thai High Convention in Chiang Mai, the 10th and 11th. I'm speaking. I have 3 speeches there. So I'm going to do a little talk on terps and their role in cannabis, and their role in like what they do to us. We were talking a little bit before you guys came on about that. And then I'm doing a talk on the second day about marketing and branding in the cannabis space, and different aspects of how that's different than in other industries. And then I'm also like ending it with like a little, I think like a cannabis meditation workshop. So kind of doing like cannabis meditation. So looking forward to meeting this homie in person and smoking some fat doinks and whatnot. So hopefully I'll see some of you guys there, but not sure.
Some of us have gardens, homie.
I wish I want to go bad.
No, I trust me. I got a garden and I'm training. Literally, that's funny you say that. I'm training 2 people as we speak to make sure that when I'm gone for 3 days, that a 3-day, and I self-automate a lot of stuff, but yeah, I understand. I know not everybody can get there, so it sucks. Trust me, it's stressing me out to even go. Like I basically said okay to it before my garden was fully going. And then a lot of things happened a lot sooner because I got a shit ton of plants that were big, like literally huge ass plants that are just ready to flip, that are as tall as me almost, because of the grow shutting down. So a lot of things got moved faster than I expected. So it's yeah, I'm stressing out actually about the garden as well. So
Yeah.
but wherever your gardens are, I would love to come by maybe in the near future to all of your gardens, make a journey around and whatnot. I'm hiring and training people right now to run certain grows, because I mean I'm opening a lot of different grows, so I've always known I can't be in all places at once. So
What's up, man?
This is actually Canada seeds. I just do what I've
It's
always
just a
done.
mascot.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, bro. Time to go feed and
So are you familiar with any other Thai seed banks that have been here a while? Like some of the big ones like Syndicate Seed Bank and OG Labs and any of those?
Not too much, man. Not really. No. So the only people that I know, I'm kind of pulling it up right now, so I'm not looking, as I'm pulling up on my Instagram. So basically, when I got here, I know I'm talking like in-house genetics. Top Dog Seeds is a homie.
Yeah, there you go, JJ.
Yeah. So I was talking with JJ. I know he's starting. Like I was trying to start what he's now are starting with somebody else and this and that. My
He's
buddy
been here a minute.
Yeah, well, he's been out here a minute. Yeah. But like, so when I came out here, like I came out here 4 months ago, and basically when I came out here, just started reaching out to contacts, this and that, and I didn't know JJ was out here for a minute, and then homie's like, "Yo, Jay's out there," so I reached out to him. Was gonna get some of his seeds on my bank, and then he's like, "I'm actually in the middle of a project, starting something out there, this and that," and I'm like, "Okay, cool, can't wait to see it." And then so I've gotten some homies. That's like how I got introduced here. Is like my buddy Jeff, who does Erie Genetics. He sent me some seeds so I could put them on the shelf. And then I reached out to a couple seed banks, that I've worked with from, like the UK and whatnot to get certain seeds. And when I got out here, I've talked with some other people that had like Ethos. I saw somebody with some Ethos stuff, and my buddy, like every single package of Ethos and their magazine, like I just had a write-up in their newest magazine, Ethos, that's coming out. I have a write-up that in there coming out. And then also like all the seeds, all the write-ups on all their packaging, my buddy writes. He's their what do you call him? The linguistic dude for them, for a lot of the stuff they write and put out. So every time I see something like that, I'll reach out to people. And there's a couple seed banks here in Thailand that I was like talking with, but not off the top of my head. I'm trying to hold on right now. There's like Thailand seeds, a lot of people that are just like
But like, a lot of those guys are just like newcomers. Like,
no, 100%. No, I agree. I don't know shit.
If you want to like get like hooked up and like get some names, maybe after the show, I can send you a list of like some like places that actually carry like proper dang seeds. Like OG Labs is one of the biggest ones in Thailand. They do like all the hottest big drops. Like they get the exotic mic boxes, like the ones I'm talking about, the big box sets. They sell like those off, and they have like plant auctions. They're the ones bringing in like a lot of the. I actually just bought the Mind Flare from Soulfire from them on their Black Friday sale. So, like,
hell yeah. Okay, yeah. See, that's the one thing I've been actually scared about out here is like I know how easy it is, because I even like how easy it is to relabel seeds and this and that. So I have only gotten a lot of my seeds. Like I don't know if you guys know a gentleman, Nick T, like Frenchie Cannoli and Mila. Yeah. So I work with all them.
On the show.
Oh, hell yeah. So Nick is a big homie of mine, and Nick just sent me a big, I got a whole bunch of seeds that he has from like Frenchie and all them from back in like the 80s and 90s. He's like, I haven't opened this box in forever. I'm like, well, I have a place out here. Like, do you want to either one, sell them on my shelf? Two, do you want me to pop them, run them? We can do a little nicotine and, Thai Terps like collab, or I'm all about the collab. Like, let's do anything that puts your logo and my logo on the same thing. And let's promote it. Like anything. I don't give a fuck. So like,
okay, so it sounds like you need to start. I got to send you some jars and some seed packs, and I got to fill you in what clones are coming. Like I just pulled out some moms from like Third Gen and Masonic.
Well, so if I could take my computer's hooked into the power right now, so I can't walk down. But like this is the second floor. This is like the club, and then downstairs is the dispensary. I have like a clone area that I've literally built just to sell clones. And then I have an area in my store just to sell seeds. And then there's an area in my store just to sell the flower. And then there's an area in my store that's eventually going to be just for like edibles and oil. But right now, like I have lights in an area, TV right in between the lights. So you can put grow stuff up, like grow shows. And like I have like different things I put on throughout the day that so people walk in, they see like how to clone up plants, like, basic shit, but like it makes entertainment. So yeah, I mean, if you need a place to sell clones, a place to sell seeds, like that's basically what I already have. And then I'm expanding that as well. I'm trying to get more into, doing stuff like with Nick, where like I'm gonna take these seeds
flour,
and like,
bro. I've got like some of the best flour in the country, no joke. So
Well, hell yeah, man. I'm always so I'm
Because-
well. If you want, dude. So what I do I do a lot of stuff. I don't just do this. Like this is one of the companies. Like I have 3 companies in the States that I still run, and then I still do stuff here. But I also sell and wholesale. So like I work for another legal farm here because like right now the big thing is like the paperwork. Like I have paperwork that with everything I sell, I can get you documented government under Newton stamped shit. So that when your shop, if ever gets, walked into or raided, quote unquote, what they're doing now, which it's just like Carson Road just got raided the other day and all this stuff. And if you don't have paperwork, you get shut down and fined and all this stuff. Well, I work with certain farms that have that and I wholesale. So if you want, I could add you to the list where, I wholesale for lots of people already. And I've kind of slowed down because I'm worrying about my grow right now and doing stuff like that. But, as certain things streamline like I do, like that's all I do is grow and wholesale. So
Well, we can talk business stuff offline.
yeah, I
after
know.
this.
I'm sorry about that. Like,
No, it's fine.
And,
I just have to watch the YouTube gods. That's all.
Understand. This is all, nothing's for sale.
Yes, nothing's for sale. This is all in a book and in this story that we're writing for this sitcom.
Yeah.
All for entertainment purposes. All this chat is for entertainment and enjoyment purposes, or nothing should be taken as factual.
Nope. It's
always
all like
like
a movie. It's all like a movie.
Did you guys see Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia season 3, the meth episode with Uncle Fester? And he's like, well, I saw 6 people get shot on TV last night and not one person got arrested for that. So why are you accusing me of making something because you saw it on TV?
I mean, to a point now. Yeah, to a point, man. That's the truth. The way the world works now. It's nuts.
But have you run into any particular weird diseases or pests or anything growing around the world?
Not too much. I mean, the funny thing is, I feel like it's, I mean, even here, I've seen some bugs I haven't seen in America here. Like even like outside, just like regular plants. Like I like plants, not just weed plants too. So I'm a nerd. You'll see me like with my phone, like taking a picture of a lily, like taking a picture of like other plants. Like a lot of plants out here, just compared to where I'm from. I'm in Colorado, so exact opposite humidity than it is. So a lot of just the natural plants here are, I'm talking like just like 20 times the size of what I'm able to get in the States, unless I have a very, very nice controlled room for those plants. So like I'm a nerd and I see stuff and I see certain bugs on them and this and that. I'm like, I've never seen that before. So like I'm always looking into it, but like that's what I think is part of the learning lesson whenever you go to a new culture and stuff like that, in a new place. I've seen, I think the craziest thing I've seen, but it wasn't like my grow, but so I'm always like looking at other people's grows and stuff like that is, I like, double-headed fucking colas for some reason. They don't show up too much into my grow. And I've had 1 or 2 in the last 2 years at my home grow in Colorado. So I don't really, know too much about why that happens, but I fucking like it. It looks cool. Maybe you guys can educate me. I always consider myself, I don't know shit. So I can always learn and I can always be taught. And I don't know anything about I always say today's my first day growing weed. So I can have people, tell me shit.
Split heads, I don't know. I've never seen anyone breed for that or anything like that. But
no, it's not. It's an accident for sure. So my last grow before I came here, I had one, and it's just the top cola. You can distinctly see that it looks like it'd be like a double-headed animal. But like at the top, on like the king cola, it's like like you literally have like 2 distinctual crowns. And I've seen it on other people's. I've seen other people post about it. So
we have a bunch of different mutations right now because we're doing such a big seed pop, and we have one variegated plant that has one branch that most of the leaves are yellow and green split, even not viral. So that's super cool. We have a couple of
That's what
four of the tri-nodes. So there's three nodes at every node site instead of two. So that's pretty cool. One of them's a Thai strain that's looking really nice.
Where did you?
And then yeah, just a bunch of other, I think obviously a couple of mutants. I think we've had about 5 or 6 out of everything that we've popped that were just came out weird and mutated and something
yeah. I mean, I've had a ton of mutated plants, just weird looking guys over the years. I've been growing.
So T-Doc.
Yeah.
So the
Sorry.
Kanatai is the king of freak shows out here in Thailand. That's for sure. He is all things freak show. One thing I wanted to mention real quick because I don't want to forget it. Check this out if you guys have time on the 8th of December at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. They're gonna Copyleft Cultivars is doing their freedom bag and tag event. They have a whole bunch of information on how the public can register their cultivars and stuff through Copyleft and all that. So we sure check that out. They do a lot of work with trying to help open source genetics to keep them from being locked down by Monsanto and everything once everything goes full legal. So they're kind of taking up the original fight from or not some of the same spirit of what some of the other projects of the past that we've covered previously in the show that we won't get into, but they definitely have a really good group, a really good board. Full disclosure, I'm on the board, so but they have a lot of other good people on there that really know what they're doing when it comes to the lawyer side of stuff and making sure everything gets done in a way that's going to be defendable and stuff like that. So really, really good group, and be sure to check that out. We'll be streaming it on this channel as well, and I'll be helping him set it up to stream on a whole bunch of other places. So be sure to check that out. We're going to do kind of like a multi-channel simulcast with that to help get the word out.
Awesome.
Sweet.
Yeah. Caleb over there does a lot of hard work and has really helped, push that ahead into the market. And now they're expanding to not just cannabis as well. So, hey, if you got some other cool heirloom stuff growing in your garden, you can open source register it through them in the future here as well. So you can kind of take all of your seed collection and share that and get that into open source as well. So. And then we have some other cool stuff that we're going to be hopefully working on with another group that will bring some other cool services to that, or that will complement that what they're doing. It's going to be pretty neat. So, but yeah, I think it's a great way to help everybody finally get their different stuff going and get that protected in a way that I think was in the original spirit of some of the other projects that we saw out there in terms of protecting these, with the cultivars. We've seen what some of the different companies have tried to do, Charlotte's Web being a good example. Something that's going to help that many lives. If the creator wants to open source it, that should be open source. It shouldn't be suddenly patented and sold for free seeds for $125 by cookies or something like that, which is they're trying to get away with right now. So I don't know. I have my suspicions about Social Club. I think Social Club is the way to mine. Hey, what are the hype seeds? They're going to get all those seeds and then put them on the seed site and suddenly be like, hey, this is the cookies cut of the hype thing. And I don't know. To me, it's Phyllis 2.0 if you ask me, but maybe I'm just a crazy conspiracy theorist.
That's what's just funny is because we all know like all the seeds that a lot of Cookie sells and stuff like that aren't the true actual cuts that Cookie uses that grows with their stuff, like not the true original cuts. I actually have, due to some connections and friends, like the OG cuts of some of Cookie's stuff that goes for like some of my cuts back in the States go for like 7 to 10 grand per one cut. And it's because of where it came from and stuff like that. But I agree with you. If you're going to be selling it to the public and not keeping certain, like if it's a pheno for you and you don't want to go anywhere, I get that. But like if you're selling to the public, I really feel like, especially in the market out here, like I won't even lie with the way like cannabis prices are out here. Like I don't like it because it doesn't match the cost of living. Like the
Bro,
price of
the guy in Phuket is selling my flower right now. It actually, like, good for him, whatever. He's selling my flower in the shop, 1,200 baht a gram.
I
And
know.
killing it. And he started
And
off in a little tiny shop with a desk. And in like 2 months now, it's all full of flat screens, and he's killing it. It's absolutely unreal. So, yeah, the market, and it's definitely not matching what he's paying for it. Let's put it that way.
And do you want to know why? And I'll say this, and a lot of people don't like this, and it's something I've seen because I attest to really good growers usually. So don't, and this isn't directed to any towards you guys, because I don't know you guys good enough yet to really direct this towards you. If it is, I will direct it. I don't care. Like I'm a truthful guy. But like most growers are more towards an introvert, artistic minded person. And when it comes to that type of mentality, usually those people aren't good when it comes to business or sales or knowing the true value of what they have. And I know this because over the years, like I've been a salesman. That's all I've really been. You know, that's what I work really good in. That's where like that's just natural to me is numbers and money. And you know, and I work for a lot of artists and growers because they don't see the value that they have, but I do. And what's going on right now is two of one things. Is one, you know, the market is up here, and the people, because I know certain people that can't, like, the market needs to come down, and it will over time. But at the same time, if the market stays high, growers that are actually of value, that are the ones dictating the market, have to understand that and have to hold strong in how they sell and how they, you know, because people will buy stuff. Like you know, if you know how to sell it and it is of the value that you talk about, then yeah, people will buy because they will see that they'll go from that small shop to the flat screen TVs. So we're going to see a huge surplus of mid to lower shelf cannabis here soon. And growers like you need to hold strong, in my opinion.
Dude, I know farms here already. Relatively decent farms, all indoor, just pumping out low mids like it's crazy. They got kilos and kilos, room full of like poo swag. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, I tell you, I've been trying since I even saw it before it opened. There's a group of people that are balling here, and they're a big reason why the fucking price is where it's at. It's not fucking rocket science. And that's one thing I don't give a fuck either, bro. I'll call shit how it is. And here's the thing, you can't get better genetics in this fucking country at all, other than Canada. You can't find nowhere for cheaper that you get top notch. If you want to do West Coast danks, you know, OG, you want that Kush shit, got it. You want some Thai, pure Thai, not really my thing because they can get it everywhere. Why would I fuck with that here? But Thai heirloom stuff that's crossed with OG pink lemonades and all this other stuff, as well as mutant genetics into Thai heirlooms, which are totally dope. Like Freak Show times this banana pineapple Thai. My buddy ran it. And as for outdoor full sun, no heat problems. You know, heat tolerance in the seeds that are made here, it helps in vigor and everything else. So, and that's the thing. Back to what I'm saying, you know, people who cut sugar cane, the people who like feed this country and export all this rice farmers, or I live out in the rice fields. I'm not like way out in the middle of nowhere, and they can't afford the seed packs. If they love weed and they want to do a gelato 44 or something like that, there's no way they'll be able to afford those packs. You know, there's no way.
The same back home in America and Canada, bro. If you're working at like 7-Eleven or McDonald's and shit, you ain't getting like the hottest new shit on drop either. That shit gets auctioned off and expensive, like, you know.
Well,
If you're in the States, if you're in the States, bro, you got a homeboy that grows. You're gonna get beans somehow, some way. Over here, it's not like that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
Genetics in Cali are rampant, bro. I mean, you can actually say no thanks but I'm already got shit. That's how it is there. Even if you don't.
But hold on. So I agree with both of you. But the thing is, this is a new market. So I work like that's been my career for the last 15 years is going to any new country that has cannabis, living in that country and like helping evolve. Like I helped Canada become like Trudeau's right-hand man came to my lab to make the laws for Canada because we were the biggest company in the world at the time. So and like Canada, I think did it fucking right, bro. In the sense of like anywhere you can smoke weed or anywhere you can smoke cigarettes, you can smoke weed. Like how they push stuff. I mean, you can smoke literally at the Vancouver airport. I fucking love it. So
That's
but the thing is, this is a new market. So what he's saying for certain, certain stuff, certain genetics that, if you're working, McDonald's, 7-Eleven, no, certain genetics that pop on the release date, you're not going to be able to go buy. But working at 7-Eleven or McDonald's, you're going to be able to go and get a sack of weed and smoke on your daily regimen, whether it be like a gram or this or that, because you're making enough. Here, I've noticed that if you're local, unless you're selling, you're not smoking mid or high end shelf cannabis daily because you can't afford to.
Yes, sir.
So that's what I'm trying to get at. It's like, I'm not talking about seeds and genetics that are rare and all that. No, keep those prices high and all that. What I hope and I know will happen is, cannabis any industry has to be balanced out by the cost of living of the market. And right now, my lowest shelf stuff, because I don't really have Thai brickweed or anything like that, but my lowest shelf stuff on my shelf is like 500.
Wow.
Maybe four, maybe
See, but
400.
even here in my city, one of the shops that carries my shit exclusively, it's all 500 baht in the shop. You know what I mean? And there's other shops in town that have it for 700 or whatever, and they don't move fuck off. Only the shops that I fucking hook up move shit, and I don't like them to sell that shit wildly expensive. I like it to keep it so people can afford it.
So agreed and disagreed. So as a cannabis advocate, you want them to sell it cheap. As a brand and a cannabis person, that's exactly wrong. It's not how you build a company. And I've built enough of them to understand. You want them to sell your shit at the highest that they can fucking sell it because it creates the top shelf image. Even if dude, I've sold weed and I can go right now and get our lowest shelf stuff that looks like shit and that you guys would understand that is probably not the best top shelf stuff, but I could put it in a jar a certain way, put a certain light on it, put it on my top shelf and sell it for the 700, 800, 900 if I know how to talk to the customer. Now, I'm not saying to trick people or do anything, but I'm also saying that is what's happening. But so if your stuff is as good, it is that good, you want to basically educate the people that carry your stuff to sell your stuff at the top shelf and then the other stuff at the lower shelf. And
that is not Bangkok here. You understand that, the population, overall income here, there isn't a shop in Isan that sells 1,000 baht grams. You know what I mean?
No.
Most expensive. And
yes. And I'm not saying to do that. You have to do the market.
And there's mid-shelf here for like 150, 200 baht a gram all day. They sell this shit on the side of the road. You know what I mean? Like Buriram is an epicenter for weed.
I'll tell you one thing, man. There's very little, dank savvy people that know what they're looking at here. Just very little.
That's for sure.
I think in Bangkok too, a lot of the higher dollar stuff is being sold almost mostly to foreigners. You know what I mean? People
yes.
Don't like it, smoke.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. That's definitely 100.
And my shop is the only shop technically in the world that's 24 hours. So we're open 24 hours, 365. We don't shut down. You can walk in any time of the day and get cannabis. So we'll have people that will land from the airport and their taxi guy will drive them here and drop them off and stuff like that. So.
Alrighty, well, we're just about 2 hours, so I think we'll start to wrap up the episode. How do people find you? And let me throw your Instagram back up. And how do they find you? shops?
Yeah, definitely. So I know you'll throw it up here, but I'll just say it out. So my personal Instagram is the one right here, Mary's Motivation, MarysMotivation. Mary's Motivation, all one word on Instagram. And then for our company Instagram right now, it's ThaiThai.terps, TERPS. Everything's, we had Thai Terps, that one got taken down, and that's going to be the name of the game for a lot of companies out here for a little bit until they understand how they truly want things done. But yeah, those are two places. We're also online at Thai Terps, and we're also on Facebook at Thai Terps as well. Like I said, we're 24 hours here off Ekamai in Bangkok. So you guys can always just stop by, Google us, stop by, come, we have a little area. We've been watching I don't watch football too much, but everybody's been loving the World Cup. So I've been getting into it. I don't know if you guys, I usually don't watch sports or anything, but people have been getting me into the World Cup and stuff. So been watching that here, smoking, having good time. So yeah, these guys, hopefully everybody here, so whoever's listening or watching, whether it be now or later, everybody here, hopefully their product will be on my shelf very soon. That's my goal now. Get some of their stuff on the shelf so you guys can come and buy it, try it out, look at it, take pictures. I like to do photography too. So, hopefully I can get these guys just grow and take some good ass macros, get some trike shots going for them. So
IG, bro, Canatai Seeds _JUKE. I would like to definitely connect with you.
definitely, man, we will.
So here's I'll throw it up on the screen here.
Excuse me, guys. I got
Yeah, right there. Yep. Right there.
What about can I try to Infamous? How do people find you? And also, man, that one guava peach, man, is fucking fire. I'll do that.
Sorry.
Okay, no worries.
Instagram, infamous gardens _V.2.0. And I should take him down to Instagram, Facebook, Cultivate Very Rum, Infamous Gardens, YouTube, Infamous Gardens, social. I have Infamous Gardens, so follow us, give us a like, subscribe, all that happy stuff. And where do people find you, Sir Potent Ponics?
So you guys can find me on we have a sale right now through Cannabis, so ends December 6th. APMJclass.com or Aquaponic Cannabis Masterclass, thepestclass.com or pest control and living soil class, the nutrient class, which is our aquaponic mineral and microbe class. Eventually we'll expand that to living soil, but for now it's aquaponic. So if you want to get it now and get the second class later, everyone that buys it now will get the second class later on. So check that out. And then we also have the virtual Aquaponic Cannabis Conference. We're just finalizing the schedule, rescheduling everything to January. So it'll be January 14th and 15th, all online. So it'll be at least Pacific time will be the 14th and 15th. It'll be the 15th and 16th here in Thailand. So we'll have a ton of different speakers from all over the world, just like last year. You can check out the last 2 years right on the Potent Ponics YouTube. Or also, if you listen to this in audio format, I've re-uploaded all of them in individual talks in 1 hour snippets for each, 1 hour for each speaker, available through the same channels that you found this podcast as well. So you can find all of those talks in those both formats. So really looking forward to that. Always a lot of fun. Oh, there was one last thing I wanted to mention just because it was super cool. And I wanted to kind of say thank you to everybody. Let me pull up the other one. Oh, not this one. There we go. So we were, oh, I don't care about that one. Where's the other one? All right, so we were on Insta or Spotify, we were in the top 10% most globally shared podcasts. That was super awesome for people sending the link to other people. So thanks to everybody on that one. And then we were in the top 5% for most new followers for the year in the last year. So on Spotify. So thanks everybody for that as well. Really helped grow the show. We had more listens this year than we ever have before. Last year we had 750,000. I'll wait till the end of the year to tally everything up because I don't want to look at it, but I know we're ahead of last year. So really stoked on that. We've grown quite a bit. And don't forget about our other channel, Dat Smoke Show. We have all kinds of goofy fun over there with all kinds of different people. A lot of Thai people, a lot of breeders and people from all over the world. So always a good time. Never know who will pop on the show. Brendan Rust is on there, Chad Westport, Hoda Herb, West Engine, Dutch Blooms is on there regularly. Just a whole host of different people. So come hang out. We always make fun of ourselves. You can see I got funny memes. We got memes of Josh. We like to have fun. So, alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. You can find this show on all the different SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, all the things. Same thing with Dat Smoke Show. And we'll be back again next week. We will probably do a show on Tuesday as we have to get up to Chiang Mai, which would normally be Friday morning. So will probably be a Tuesday show for you Americans, which would be Wednesday my time. So. But we will have Chris Trump on. So he's going to talk to us about what he's doing in Costa Rica. Always fun when Chris comes on the show. So, yeah. Thanks a lot, guys.